What's up, YouTube family? It's Andrea here at VW Family Farm. It's a wonderful day here. It's the middle of winter, but it's really nice. It's actually pretty windy, which is blowing in a storm front. I'm gonna show y'all off to the north what it looks like. So there's our beautiful chicken flock. They've been fed. They're just always hungry for more when we come outside. And there's the cluck wagon, and then all those clouds off to the north are rolling in a front. So I just wanted to take a few minutes to talk to y'all today about change. And so the weather's changing right now. Like I just showed you, it's really windy out here. There's all kinds of change going on here at the farm right now. We've got ewes about to lamb. We're on lamb watch all the time. We've got cows calving. We're moving cows around. There's just all kinds of changes going on. We brought in the new bull, just lots of things. We have new baby chicks coming this week. It's that time of year, it's new life, just things changing all the time. We're sprouting seeds. Pretty soon the landscape around here will be changing. Everything will green up again, which is beautiful, but in turn means more outside work to do. All kinds of things like that. I know those are common things that y'all are going through as well. So one thought I wanted to share with y'all today is about change and how sometimes change can be a bad thing and sometimes change can be a really good thing. And I think sometimes we fear change and we kind of push against it because we don't like change. At least I don't. Things can just be going not even great, just kind of mediocre. But if I'm comfortable with it, I really resist change, even if that could lead to something wonderful. I don't know why I do that. Do y'all do that? That's just part of my personality. I get comfortable and I don't like things to change. But this year, I've been trying to work on myself and do some changing in my habits, not just my eating and exercising habits, although those as well for sure. I shared with you that I got sick not long after Thanksgiving and just didn't feel real well for a while. And I'm starting to do better, and so I'm just working on myself. I've started a new workout routine this year, and that's been a big change. I've always been an exerciser to some extent. Not real hard exercise, but I've always liked to go for walks and jogs and things like that. But I've pushed myself a little bit this year. I'm doing a little bit tougher workout. And in turn, sometimes my body is saying, no, we don't like this change. We don't want to do this. This is pushing me out of my comfort zone. It's not super comfortable. So that got me to thinking, maybe that's something you struggle with too, that you just get in patterns that maybe they're not the best, but they're just comfortable to you and you don't want to push out of those. And when you do, it really starts to get uncomfortable and stretch you and push you a little bit. It could be anything. I've also been working on myself in other ways in the past few months or a year, thinking about things that I do that are not healthy or are not productive or not being a good friend or neighbor, thought patterns I have, or just ways that I tend to act, and just all kinds of different things. I've just been praying that God would reveal to me things that I need to work on, and when you do that, He will. That also brings along with it change. Changing the way you think. Are you someone who's kind of sensitive and you tend to get your feelings hurt easily? Are you someone who tends to lash out and maybe do the hurting of other people's feelings? Just those things, just when you start really thinking about change and ways you need to change, and those come to mind, those are a tad uncomfortable, and facing the facts of who you are, and not just who you think you are, but who are you to other people. And I truly believe we can't live our life to please other people, because you won't be able to do it. You will never please everyone. But at the same time, I do think we have to take stock every once in a while of how others perceive us and work on some things based on that. Are we someone who's reliable and people can count on us? When we say we'll do something, we'll do it. Or are we someone who's a tad less reliable and maybe we don't follow through with the things that we say we'll do? Just things like that. That's just things I'm thinking about in my personal life, and so I thought I would share with y'all. And then along with thinking about change makes me start thinking about your past, because you didn't get to where you are now without your past. And sometimes your past the way that you were in the past makes you want to change for the future, or maybe you haven't changed and you're still living in the past. But that's one thing I've been thinking about with this exercise that I'm doing. It's uncomfortable. It's hard. I about talk myself out of it every single day. But once I start doing it, it feels really good. And afterwards, I'm really proud that I did it. But that's a new habit I'm trying to form. And maybe in the past, I haven't made the healthiest choices. Maybe in the past, I haven't been the nicest person. Maybe in the past, I haven't been super reliable when people would ask me a question to get back to them. Maybe I've not been the best family member, or so on and so on and so on. But I guess the point I want to make to you is, and it's just something I've been thinking about personally, is it's never too late to change. And for sure, don't live in the past. Because just because you were one way in the past does not mean you always have to be that way. I think that is the biggest lie people buy into, myself included, thinking that, well, that's just the way I am. And so we continue in these unhealthy habits. And I hope I'm not limiting you in what you're thinking of, because think of your unhealthy habits. And I don't mean just the food you're eating or whether you're exercising or not. Don't get me wrong. Those things are important, and I'm working on those too. But I'm talking about unhealthy habits that we do to ourselves in other areas as well. Are you giving yourself defeated talks, defeated thoughts in your head, telling yourself you're not good enough, or you don't deserve this, or that will never work out for you, or who do you think you are to think that you can have all these things? All of those things, if you're telling yourself those things, are not healthy. And so I just call on you, I encourage you, don't live in the past. We've all, I promise you, we've all made mistakes in our past. I promise you, every person, even those people you think are perfect, they have a past too, and they have things they'd rather change. But just don't let your past define you. Embrace change, especially healthy change, and let's move forward together. You can learn from your past, definitely. Let it teach you, but don't let it define you. Move past it. You're not that person anymore. That's what I tell myself. Some of the things in my past that when I think back on them, I cringe a little bit, like, man, I wish I hadn't done that. Man, I wish I'd been true to myself in that situation, or this one or that one. Because I'm kind of an overthinker sometimes, and maybe you are too. Maybe you're not, I don't know. But you know what? Let that go. Learn from it so that you don't do those things again. But don't just wallow in it. At some point, we have to just pull ourselves up out of the mud and allow God to clean us up and move forward. And maybe those things, those mistakes that you made in the past, maybe you made those so that you can help others that are going through that. Sometimes I think maybe some of the things I went through and that mistakes I've made are so I can help my kids not make those. But you know what the truth of the matter is? Even if my kids make those, I'm still going to be there for them, and I'm still going to love them through it, and tell them, I understand what you're going through because I went through it. And then help them to move past it and to change. And maybe it's not your kids, maybe it's someone else that you can help by things you've gone through. But that's what I wanted to encourage y'all in. Just don't let things in your past keep you from changing in the present into who you're meant to be. Because I think a lot of times we're just on the verge of letting go and becoming that person that we were meant to be. But if we don't ever embrace the change to do that, we'll just be stuck in the past and just stuck in a rut. And that can just apply to so many situations. So I just encourage you, love yourself, accept yourself, mistakes and all, and let's move forward together. And let's encourage each other. Y'all are some of the most encouraging people. You're the best community of people. I'm serious. And so just encourage each other. Down in the comments when you see someone say something like they have a need, take a second and just encourage them, as I've been seeing y'all doing, and it makes me so proud of y'all. I also want to encourage you, we have a viewer that has a sweet 15-year-old daughter named Ivy that went to the doctor for just a simple rash and was diagnosed with leukemia and was ushered into the hospital for 6 weeks of intense therapy and then a break and then 6 more weeks of it. And so they've just been thrown into a horrible situation. And so I just encourage y'all, just pray for them. If you think of them, her name is Ivy, just lift her up in prayer. And I will see you guys tomorrow. I love each and every one of you, and I appreciate you. See you tomorrow. God bless.